What up, what up? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, patrons, and every single member of the True Heel Nation and all New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. This is your good brother, J News, with another edition of J News Japan, and we are here to talk about two shows in particular. Road to New Beginning USA, which aired this past Friday, February 5th, 2021, and Road to New Beginning New Japan Proper, which aired this morning on February 8th, 2021. Lots to go over here. And I'm laughing for a specific reason. Man, these post-match promos and commentary stuff, I should really have gotten into this beforehand. The hilarity that ensues during the post-match interviews is unlike anything else. Funny to me, but it does drive the storylines ahead. So let's start out with the Road to the New Beginning USA February 5th show, aka New Japan Strong. So we had 3 total matches on the show. First match of the night, it was a Young Lions match. We had Jet Knight, aka, or Kevin Knight, aka also known as Jet Knight, versus the DKC, 7 minutes and 23 seconds. This match was specifically very map based. Showed Kevin Knight in a different light for me, because I had never really seen Kevin Knight do any ground and pound or any interchangeable or reversible submission type of stuff, which I caught here with him in the DKC. Even though the DKC does have more experience than Kevin Knight in that particular realm due to his background, but they both look very good in this match. Very stiff and hard contact and hits and strikes between the two. At the end of the day, the DKC won this match over Kevin Knight with the triangle choke. He tapped him out, and that was that match. I don't recall seeing any post-match clips from the DKC or Kevin Knight, but I'm sure that we're going to see more with the DKC and Kevin Knight in the coming weeks and months on New Japan Strong. Second match of the night, this colossal 8-way tag, which included on one side Jordan Clearwater, Adrian Quest, Misterioso, and Bateman versus the Regal Twins, Logan and Sterling, Barrett Brown, and the one and only Brody King. 11 minutes, 19 seconds in this particular match here. What am I going to say about this match to really sum it up for everybody? Everyone in this match, from Clearwater to Quest, Misterioso, Bateman, Brody King, Barrett Brown, Sterling, and Logan Regal, got their shit in for 11 minutes and 19 seconds. It was a hodgepodge of everybody hitting some staple moves of theirs, some really high impact stuff. Misterioso actually looked halfway decent in this match. Yes, this is my first time saying that. This is the match for the lack of me watching Bateman in the last year or so, because Bateman's been around for a while. I watched some of his earlier stuff when he was doing indie stuff through PWG. This is the version of Bateman. In this match, we saw the version of Bateman that I felt we should have gotten versus Ren Narita. And it was Bateman at his most charismatic, completely character enthralled match with his very innovative and yet diverse offense. I feel like I understand, as to why Narita got the win over Bateman, and yet again the Young Lions have to wrestle a specific sort of match. But I would have liked it. I would have liked to have seen Bateman be more of his over-the-top character self with his innovative and diversified style against Ren Narita, to see how Narita would have picked up the win with his Young Lion style. Even though it's been said that he is not necessarily a Young Lion anymore. He's just on excursion at the LA Dojo. But we shall see. But yeah, everybody got their shit in here. Bateman got the win with This Is a Kill over Barrett Brown. But every single person in this match looked good. Even Jordan Clearwater, even though Clearwater did still look green at the beginning of this match, he was able to look semi-decent towards the end. Adrian Quest, I think, was probably the only one of the wrestlers that I thought that he didn't necessarily stand out. Even the Regal Twins did good work. Barrett Brown, who's leaned down quite a bit, looked really good in this match. And Brody King is just Brody freaking King, man. Brody King, not to say that he's wasting his career at ROH. You know, these guys, they work where they want to work and they get paid what they get paid. But I would want to see Brody King on a bigger stage than where he is right now. He's just he's too good. He's one of those really big men who move really well. And I think that seeing matches between him and guys like a Lance Archer maybe or Brian Cage would be on some next level shit, because I can say that on this particular show. Not even I mean, I might have missed it, but I might have not. I think that Damian Priest, aka Punishment Martinez, was around for Brody's earlier stint in ROH, but I'm not too sure how often they got around. I would like to see a match between those two guys, and obviously Brody King and Keith Lee, like guys of that nature who just move super well and would give us these monster matches between these monster-sized men who are athletically gifted. So I'm just making that more of a point because everybody got their shit in during this particular match. And then the third match of the night, which lasted 10 minutes and 41 seconds, was the main event of the night. It was Rey Horus, formerly known as El Dragon Azteca on Lucha Underground, versus TJP, Mr. Perkins himself. Very technically sound match. It was a mix-up of traditional lucha technicality with European technicality, then mix in the springboarding and some of the high-flying spots that you would be accustomed to seeing during a Rey Horus match, and TJP as well, because TJP can do it all. But it was a fun match to watch. Rey Horus did his thing in this particular match. TJP did his thing. When does TJP not do his thing? I'm just one of those people who's been watching TJP for such a long period of time that it gets boring to see TJP do certain things and wrestle a certain style. But when he picks up not the pace, but when he gets exhilarated, I guess is a good word to use, or when he gets into it, his matches are really, really super, super dope. Even though he's probably one of the most technically gifted and super clean wrestlers we've ever seen, ever, to be quite honest. And Rey Horus wins this match by doing a top rope victory roll on TJP. So, update for next week's New Japan Strong, aka Road to the New Beginning in the USA show. Next week, which is Friday, February 12th, we'll have the first match of the night. Will be a one-on-one between Jordan Clearwater and JR Kratos of Team Filthy. Then we'll have a young lion, Clark Connors, the captain, versus Bateman. So that should be a good match because Clark Connors is basically growing into his own, and this will give us a chance to see Bateman in more of his character style. And then the third match of the night will be a tag match here. It'll be Ren Narita and TJP versus other members of Team Filthy, the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson, and Danny Limelight. I'm loving the fact Danny Limelight is getting traction on New Japan Strong and on AEW Dark. Get yourself out there, kid. That's the way to make that money. That's the way to get your name out there. So that's dope. So that'll be the main event for New Japan Strong, Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NewJapanWorld.com. That'll be coming on February 12th. Now, to talk about Road to New Beginning, New Japan proper, which took place this morning at Kurikan Hall. 491 New Japan fans in attendance. First match of the night, 6-man tag. We had two of the Young Lions, Gabriel Kidd and Yuya Uemura, tagging up with the coach, Ryusuke Taguchi, versus members of Suzuki-gun, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, El Desperado, and the returning king of pro wrestling, Minoru Suzuki. This match lasted 7 minutes and 35 seconds. El Desperado hit the pinche loco on Yuya Uemura to get the win. But folks, that's not the story of the match. The story of the match goes as follows. There was an exchange between Minoru Suzuki and Yuya Uemura in one of the white padded corners. At one point, Minoru Suzuki had control of Yuya Uemura by his head. He put him into the corner and he started striking him. Yuya Uemura said, F you, controlled Suzuki by his head, turned Suzuki into the corner, and he started striking Suzuki. Now, Suzuki was no-selling every strike that Yuya Uemura was giving him. And then Uemura said, fuck this forearm, and he gave Suzuki 3 open hand smacks to the face. And he continued to beat Suzuki down into the corner. He then went to the opposite corner, and he went for his running kick into the solar plexus of Suzuki, and Suzuki goes down again. That young man, at that point in time, knew exactly what he was doing. He marked himself for death. He had a death wish because the king of pro wrestling was happy. He had the biggest smile on his face during this match. Gabriel Kidd wants a piece of Takagi. Yota Tsuji wants Naito. It seems like Yuya Uemura wants Suzuki. And I'm not too sure if Suzuki... I'm not too sure that Yuya Uemura wants that beef with the king of pro wrestling. Another thing that I want to point out as well, Gabriel Kidd had his intertwined with Minoru Suzuki in the match as well. But something that I did notice is that Gabriel Kidd seems to have much more respect for Minoru Suzuki than Yuya Uemura does, because Gabriel Kidd was throwing them bows at Minoru Suzuki and they were landing, but it wasn't anything harsh. Gabriel Kidd hits harder shots on Tsuji than he ever has on Minoru Suzuki. So you can tell that Gabriel Kidd is in that match half scared, battling Minoru Suzuki, and Yuya Uemura doesn't even give a shit. So, after the match was over, I actually saw the post-match commentary on this match, which just had Taguchi and Uemura do specific talking spots. Uemura said he's not dead yet, and he wants that old man. And he wants to bring that fight. And before Uemura said his piece, Taguchi said his piece. He basically says, good luck to Uemura, because he is marked for death. And he is going to pray for Uemura. And once Uemura meets his death, he hopes that he shines his light bright down on the coach, so that he knows that he's watching him from above. Because he died in honor of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That to me was like hilarious, and I'm paraphrasing. You guys can watch the post-match commentary on youtube.com/New Japan Pro Wrestling. Make sure if you're not a Japanese speaking person, turn on the subtitles. They are translated very, very well. It was just hilarious how Taguchi was cutting his promo, and Uemura seems to want more. Then El Desperado broke the fourth wall, or wasn't even in kayfabe for like the first couple of seconds of his part, basically saying that Uemura was out there trying to prove a point, but basically to quote what I was saying before, Uemura is marked for death. In this case, we won't necessarily know if Uemura and Minoru Suzuki will get a one-on-one matchup later on. They've had one-on-ones before. But it just seems like Uemura stepping up to the plate at this point in time, instead of just garnering the attention of Minoru Suzuki. And then Minoru Suzuki was laughing, had that maniacal look on his face, and he says he wants the pain, he wants the agony, he wants to feel the strikes from Uemura, and he was like, he wants more, Moto. And yeah, we're gonna get another sort of a tag match where we'll see Uemura and Suzuki involved. Hopefully we'll get a one-on-one between them sometime soon, because that I want to see. Next 6-man tag match had members of Chaos, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kazuchika Okada. Before this match, I did say this in my previous review, Goto jumped over the fence and out of the plexiglass compartmentalization that they have for the commentary team, and he went over and he attacked members of the Bullet Club. So he was given a formal caution by New Japan Pro Wrestling, which doesn't really mean much. It's like a slap on the wrist and stuff like that. So I wanted to mention that before I mention what happened in the match. And then we had the Bullet Club tag team here, Yujiro Takahashi, Jay White, and Evil. This match lasted 5 minutes and 15 seconds. This match felt like it went more, but the reason as to why it was only 5 minutes and 15 seconds is because this match was rushed to begin. The Chaos faction jumped the Bullet Club faction, and at one point, Jay White had, I believe, Okada out there. It was either Okada or Goto, but it wasn't Ishii. And he was fighting one of them off, and then he got into Yoshihashi's face, and Yoshihashi was in commentary, and he was daring Yoshihashi to jump over commentary, and then to no avail, because Jay White, he punked Yoshihashi, he duffed him in the face. Yoshihashi jumps over the barricade, gets into the ring, starts to waylay on Jay White. The Kenta Santo, referee Kenta, calls for the bell, disqualification. The Bullet Club wins the match, and all hell broke loose after this match. After the bell rung, Yoshihashi continued to beat on Jay White. Tomohiro Ishii went down to beat on Jay White. Jay White ran for the freaking back. Yujiro Takahashi was nowhere to be found. Hiroki Goto ran to the back as well. Kazuchika Okada and Evil were the two men of their faction who were left over. Evil being flanked by Dick Togo. Kazuchika Okada basically imploring and challenging Evil to come into the ring because he had a lot more gas left and he wanted a one-on-one matchup. Evil basically refused. Okada went outside to go after him to start this matchup. He put the money clip on straight away. Evil got out of it. Was able to clothesline Okada over the top. Him and Dick Togo basically gave Okada a quick beatdown. And Evil told Okada that he can crush him at any time. Stop trying to push him. And he just went about his business. Still no one-on-one matchup booked between Kazuchika Okada and Evil. Because there's going to be a tag match coming on the 11th that includes the two of them. Then the third match of the night, we had members of Suzuki-gun Douki, Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi, the Dangerous Tekkers versus Jado and the G.O.D. Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, 9 minutes and 58 seconds. This is where and why I was laughing at the beginning of this video. Tama Tonga has become a maniacal comedian with trying to throwing off Tai Chi with these different bags of different things that are not the Iron Fingers. So this time around, Tama Tonga came to the ring with like 3 different bags of things. He was basically telling Tai Chi, pick a bag, any bag, and we'll see if I can give you back the Iron Fingers. The Iron Fingers are nowhere to be found in this particular match at all. They weren't taped to the belt like they were in the previous match. They weren't in a secret bag or whatever. The Iron Fingers made no appearance in this match. Tama Tonga had 3 different items in 3 different bags. From what I can recall, and I'm looking at this now to see via photo, because there's only one thing that I'm glaringly knowing that came out. There was 3 items. Of the 2 that I recognize offhand was a kid-sized baseball mitt, and then a rubber chicken. There was a third item that came out during this match. But the rubber chicken gag was hilarious, even though it's old as hell. There you go. He had a hand puppet bunny in which he attacked Doki with during the match. Me speaking of Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga is hilarious, bro. And then his ability to speak Japanese and just make Tai Chi even more irate is something else completely different. Tonga Loa didn't necessarily have much of a character role in the match. He did his usual damage. Jado had his kendo stick spot as he usually does. Jado still giving Doki shit, not giving Doki his one-on-one match. New Japan doesn't even want that match to happen. At one point, Doki did take his steel or metal stick to Tama Tonga while the referee's back was turned. Tai Chi was trying to get the better of everyone, just basically blatantly choking every single member of of the Bullet Club. But alas, Tenso Jujo. I don't necessarily know what that necessarily means, and I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's some sort of a move that Tai Chi does. That's what he put on Jado, and that's how the Suzuki-gun faction won their match. After the match, the post-match comments, Tama Tonga screaming and yelling like a madman in Japanese, basically with the rubber chicken in hand, basically saying to Tai Chi, "You'll never get these fingers back, these metal fingers back. I'll continue to trick you in whatever way I deem fit and feel like it's hilarious." So Tama Tonga is going to continue on with that stuff. Like I said, Jado still not giving Doki the time of day. Then it cut to the Suzuki-gun members. Tai Chi basically speaking to the ilk of he's been having nightmares as of late. Not nightmares, he's been having dreams as of late. And then these dreams keep on telling him that something bad is going to happen if he doesn't get these metal fingers back. The iron fingers, if they're not returned to him by the time this tag team match happens, something bad is going to happen the day after. Something is going to arise, or the dead is going to rise, Tai Chi says. I'm not necessarily knowing what that means. I'm thinking in the back of my head, maybe the person who gifted Tai Chi the iron fingers is going to return for a certain spot, being that Jado always flanks God. Maybe the Dangerous Techers are going to get an official flank at this point, and it could be Ishka, the guy who did give the iron fingers to Tai Chi. We don't know. We don't know, but Tai Chi just seemed a little beside himself. He wasn't irate or wasn't screaming. He was just in this mode of disbelief, telling Zack Sabre Jr. at the end of it all, at the end of his whole soliloquy, to take care of this, because if they don't get those iron fingers back, all hell is going to break loose. So we shall see as to what happens. And at the end of those post-match comments, Doki went on his own rant on Jado, still pleading with New Japan to give him that match. The fourth match of the night, Master Wato, Tomoaki Hanma versus Bushi and Tetsuya Naito. 14 minutes and 20 seconds here. This was pretty, solid match. I would say the winners were Los Ingobernables de Japón. Tetsuya Naito, one of the jackknife hold pin on Tomoaki Hanma to the count of about 15 this time around instead of 25 like last time. Master Wato really did lay it into Bushi here, so it does seem like Master Wato and Bushi are going to have sort of a hellacious battle coming on the 10th of February. Tomoaki Hanma still wants a piece of Tetsuya Naito. He's going to retry and retry and retry until Tetsuya Naito gives him the one-on-one opportunity he's looking for. Master Wato now has the great Hiroshi Tenzan back in his corner. And with Hiroshi Tenzan back in his corner, he knows he'll be able to defeat Bushi. But Bushi says that those Master Wato, those Kawato kicks, don't do him any favors. They don't do any damage to Bushi. And Bushi says that he will defeat Master Wato, and he will not be anyone's Grand Master. So there goes that. And then the main event of the night, it was Sho and Ibushi going up against members of Los Ingobernables de Japón, Hiromu Takahashi and my main man Sanada. This match was a 30-minute draw. The first half of the match was a good back and forth between Sanada and Kota Ibushi, and then Sho versus Hiromu. And then the match broke down a little bit, or whatever the case is. You got a little bit of Sho versus Sanada, a little bit of Hiromu versus Kota. And everything was good. Everything was great. But then, when the junior heavyweights tagged back in, they took over the match. It was a little bit past the halfway point. And they basically wasted each other with hard-ass strikes throughout the beginning of the match, Hiromu Takahashi and Sanada took it to Sho's chest with a whole bunch of chops. So Sho's chest was completely red during the majority of the match. And when they finally re-met up, the junior heavyweight, Sho and Hiromu met back up in the ring, they just completely took each other apart and tired each other out. It wasn't until the last 3 minutes of the match that they were completely exhausted and they wasted each other, and they both were tagged back out by Sanada and Kota Ibushi, when Ibushi and Sanada both dragged Hiromu and Sho back to their respective corners to tag themselves in. 3 minutes were left of the match. Sanada and Kota Ibushi just went at each other as best as they could. Sanada going for the skull end, Ibushi trying to go for Kamigoye. They were just trading and exchanging, reversal after reversal, until time ran out. I don't know if this is another like setup for things to come. I doubt that they'll book 3 draws within a 2.5 week span. Because those matches, both Sho versus Hiromu and Kota Ibushi versus Sanada, are both 60-minute time limit matches. So there's going to be a winner in both those matches there. But shoot, man, if Sanada and Kota Ibushi go to a draw, that'll be something ridiculous. But it also protects the both of them. At the end of the day, they're both fan favorites. Their connection to the crowd and how with the call and response and everything in between was very strong and very visual during the beginning of this match and during the match and stuff like that or whatever. So there's a real split, there's a real divide between fans of Sanada and fans of Ibushi. But it's a real show of respect for them and how they carry themselves as competitors and as wrestlers in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But man, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Sanada pull out all the stops to see as to how he devises a plan to try to defeat Ibushi. And I want to see what God has in store for Sanada. Sho and Hiromu Takahashi will probably go over half an hour during their main event on February 10th. They're probably going to start the match at 100 or 1,000 miles an hour, and then eventually slow it down and just go blow for blow to see who can stay standing. And I'm looking forward to that matchup there. So to give you the rundown, on night 1, New Beginning in Hiroshima, night 1, which will take place February 10th. First match of the night is going to be a 6-man tag. So it'll be all the Young Lions, Yota Tsuji, Yuya Uemura, and Gabriel Kidd going up against members of Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Obviously, we'll be looking towards how much more balls Uemura has to light up Suzuki, and if Suzuki's going to completely kill Uemura. We will see if that goes down. Then, of course, the battles that we have all been waiting for. Match number 2 will be Master Wato versus Bushi. 20-minute time limit match there. Then we will have a 10-man tag match featuring members of Chaos, Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, and Toru Yano versus members of the Bullet Club. We will have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori, along with Evil, Jay White, and Yujiro Takahashi. And that'll be a 10-man tag team match there. Then a tag team match which will include Sanada and Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi and Tomoaki Hanma. So more pre-match warm-ups there for those gentlemen. And then we will have the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships defended as the GOD, the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, go for their defense here against Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., the Dangerous Techers. Let's see if Taichi can regain those iron fingers, and if not, it seems that his dream will turn into a nightmare and the dead will rise again. Who knows what that ultimately means. Then we have the main event of night 1 at Hiroshima, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Sho, aka Sho Tanaka, will go one-on-one versus Hiromu Takahashi. 60-minute time limit. I expect this match to be epic. I just have a feeling they won't disappoint. And then night 2 at Hiroshima, the rundown is as follows. Match number 1, we will have a 6-man tag. It'll be all the Young Lions, Yota Tsuji, Yuri Uemura, and Gabriel Kidd, going up against the Dangerous Tekkers, Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi, along with Doki in that 6-man tag. Then match number 2, another 6-man tag, the other part of Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki with El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. They will go up against Taiji Ishimori, El Phantasmo, and Yujiro Takahashi, the Tokyo Pimp. Then another 6-man tag will have members of Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito, Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi will go up against Tomoaki Hanma, Master Wato, and Sho. Then we will have a tag match with Kazuchika Okada and Toru Yano going up against Evil and Dick Togo. And then a 6-man, never open weight tag team championship match. The Gorillas of Destiny and Jay White, the Bullet Club, going up against members of Chaos, Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto. I actually expect the Bullet Club faction to win the never open weight 6-man tag team championships in this particular battle. There's just too much emotion coming out of Ishii and Yoshihashi and Goto, and I think that Jay White and the GOD will find a way to win this match. One, because of their devious and mischievous ways, and then on top of everything else, Jay White gets flanked by Gato, and the GOD gets flanked by Jado. So, shenanigans and stuff will take place. And then the main event, it will be for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship and the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. The God himself, Kota Ibushi, the double champ, will go one-on-one with Sanada of Los Ingobernables de Japón. One fall, 60-minute time limit. One fall to a finish. This I can say, and I hope that Sanada puts some of these internet warriors to freaking sleep, and he'll show out in this match, and he will give the fans his best, as Sanada only can, the Cold Skull way, and show us what the Cold Skull can bring. I do not expect Sanada to win this match at all. Don't get me wrong. I am a fanboy. I am a stan. But I know Sonata's not winning this match. And if he does, by God, I'll have questions. But I fully don't expect Sonata to win. God should win this match. But this should be a tremendous match between Kota Ibushi and Sanada going forward. So, folks, that is the rundown for now for those two shows and what's coming up in the next couple of days. Make sure to stay tuned. February 10th and 11th, NewJapanWorld.com for New Beginning in Hiroshima, nights 1 and 2. And then, obviously, Road to New Beginning in the USA for New Japan Strong, Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NewJapanWorld.com. As always, thank you for watching and thank you for sticking with me. You'll probably see another video of the Road 2 shows before this, and obviously just stick with me for more New Japan news, reviews, and commentary as we trek along in 2021. As always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. This has been your good brother Jay News. Stay safe out there. Take care of one another. Be good to one another. And stay wrestling fans, folks. I'm about this. I'll see you on the flip. Take it easy, folks. Peace.